This Sunday, January 12th at 2:30 p.m. at St. Andrews River Heights United Church, Virtuosi Concerts will be presenting their fourth concert of the 2024-25 season. Called the Roots and Branches Mentorship Project, this concert pairs up pre-professional musicians with seasoned pros to collaborate in a professional concert setting. This year's young up-and-coming musicians are soprano Christina Thanisch-Smith, violinist Miona Milovanović, and cellist Déverson Correia. The community professional players for this concert are violist Virtuosi and Virtuosi Executive Director Jennifer Thiessen and pianist Laura Loewen. This is going to be a fantastic concert that features music from such composers as Brahms, Richard Strauss, Carolyn Shaw, and Karen Sunabacka, to name just a few. And joining me here in the Classic 107 studio, I am joined by pre-professional players, violinist Miona Milovanović and cellist Déverson Correia, as well as Virtuosi Executive Director and violist for this concert, Jennifer Thiessen. Hello to you all. Nice to have you here.
Hi, Chris.
Hello,
Thanks for having us.
Jen, I want to start with you. Can you talk about the Roots and Branches Mentorship Project and why it's so important for Virtuosi's mandate?
Yes, we actually started it 3 years ago. This is the third annual Roots and Branches Mentorship Concert Project. It was begun when I first began with Virtuosi. The board was working on expanding the Young Artist Program, and this was a direct branch, if you will, of that existing long-term program. So this was a way to access and include more young artists in our community.
Mm-hmm. And the musicians are chosen from the pool of young artists who perform at the beginning of every concert. It's an audition process. How did you narrow it down to just the three players for this concert?
Well, I can tell you it's very difficult because the level of applications is so high. Mm-hmm. It is a separate application, so it's rolled up together with the regular Young Artist Program application. But then there's an extra section, if you will, if you want to be included as a possible player for the mentorship concert. Then you include more videos, more recordings, and more references, I think. You two probably know better than I do even. But you need to send in a few more things than the regular young artist applicants. And then, it's based on, we always hire an external juror for the Young Artist Program audition.
Right.
Tapes, I want to say. Recordings, we say now. And that person, along with me, we go through everything, all the applications, and narrow it down, basically.
I want to turn to the young artists on the program. Miona, I'm going to start with you. Can you introduce yourself? You're just out of school, I understand, but who is your teacher and what are you doing now?
Yeah, hello. So I am Miona, 24 years old. I graduated last year from the University of Manitoba. I studied with Oleg Pokanovsky there. And actually, I've been studying with him since I moved here to Canada in 2015. So it's been a long time. Currently, I'm a teaching artist at Sistema Winnipeg. I'm teaching privately as well. And I'm just taking some time for some fun projects like this one. And just to kind of think before I continue with my further education.
And Déverson, how about you?
Chris, I'm here for almost 2 years now. I'm from Brazil, and I'm currently part of Dr. Chang's cello studio at UFM. And has been a pleasure. Winnipeg, it's so kind with me, and it's been a pleasure to have opportunities like this here and develop my skills as a musician and as a human being, I think.
I was looking at the program for Sunday, and holy moly, is it diverse. You've got Brahms, Dragana Jovanović, Richard Strauss, Berlioz, etc. Am I right? Do the young artists curate the concert?
It's a collaborative effort. So we take the Roots and Branches metaphor very seriously. So it's not only is this, emerging artists and professionals, it's also bringing in each musician's roots, whether that's, family roots or personal roots or musical experiences roots, influences and bring that into the programming. So everybody who's involved in this new ensemble that gets created for the concert contributes to the programming. So that's hence the diversity. The link is this group of people.
Miona and Déverson, you're both playing some really interesting chamber music that's off the beaten path. You have the Dragana Jovanović, am I saying that right?
Yeah,
the Clarissa Saad, the Karen Sunabacka, the Caroline Shaw. How did you pick that rep? And can you talk about like your own personal backgrounds and how you chose that music?
Yeah, so when we first started discussing the program for this concert, we all agreed that we wanted to bring a little bit from our own backgrounds, as well as to focus on chamber music and female composers. So I started to think about which Serbian composers I know. Have I played anything before by a Serbian composer? And I realized that I haven't played that much. And there are a lot of Serbian composers. So I thought of Dragana Jovanović, which I've had a chance to perform some of her pieces while I was growing up in Serbia. And I just looked through her catalog and found this really fun piece, Tango Django. It hasn't been performed that much, so I was very excited when she sent the score our way, and I'm really excited to perform it. As well as I'm doing a piece by Ana Sokolović, which is, I was really happy when I learned that there was a Serbian composer living in Canada. So that's a very special one for me as well.
And the Jovanović, it's for piano trio, and the Karen Sunabacka is for string trio. And then Vivian, can you talk about your pieces on the program?
Sure. So as Miona said, we talked before about what would be like our priorities. So we discussed about diversity, women composers, and our own backgrounds. So considering that, it came to my mind like Clarisse Assad and André Memari, that are both like very young, and they are becoming very famous, not just in Brazil, but also abroad. So we did some research and figure out what would fit better to this program. Also, Caroline Shaw, I am a huge fan of her work for string quartet, for example. And accidentally, we figured out that she has a piano quartet too, and it was wonderful. It's been a pleasure to play these composers.
That's going to be just fantastic. And then you've got the more standard literature on the program, such as the Brahms Second Piano Quartet. You're going to be doing the first movement. How is that piece chosen? And my other question I got to wonder about is, what did you have to promise Laura Loewen in order to practice and perform that ridiculously difficult piano part?
Laura, in a way, all of the pieces have a root with the individuals in the group. And this one is actually a piece that Laura is in love with. So we talked about Brahms piano quartets. For me, I have a bit of a musical memory root with Brahms piano quartets because the first piece I ever played on viola when I was switching from violin to viola in university was a Brahms piano quartet. So that I have a musical connection with that formation and that composer, and then was chatting with Laura, and she was head over heels for this movement. So she did it to herself, we'll have to say. We're so happy that she was willing to take it on. It's so much fun to work on. Yeah.
And like all three of those piano quartets, the piano parts are the virtuosic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's really something.
And I could add to just the root, like with the works that Christina Thanisch-Smith chose, they are more classical standard works, if you will, art song. Berlioz' La Mort d'Ophélie, and then Strauss' Lieder. But I think for her, they are, in a sense, formative, influential, like works that she loves and feels at home with in her voice. And so there's a personal connection there as well with these other works.
I was going to say, I love the sound of the voice with small chamber ensembles. It's so effective. She's going to be doing some Strauss songs, and there's going to be violin in the Morgan. How did that come about?
Yeah, so it's a beautiful song. I absolutely love playing with singers. I've done a lot of singer recitals during my undergrad, and it's always such a pleasure when I get a chance to add a little bit to beautiful arias and their beautiful voices. So yeah, it's quite enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the Clarice Assad piece, Confessions, for soprano and piano trio. What can you tell us about that one?
It's basically the movements are all made by women, like the text and the music by Clarice. And it's always about something related to the day life of women, like that maybe can be in a certain way uncomfortable to talk about. And we are doing the third movement of the suite called Fixation.
Mm-hmm.
That it's about like some kind of eating disorder, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings such a delicate topic in a such I don't know, embracing way, I would say, or she invite us, the audience, to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else I can add to this, but it's a very sensible topic, but we are trying to do it in a very comfortable way, let's say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do want to quickly ask about help me with the pronunciation of the name, Andre Mimari?
Yes, Andre Mimari.
Mimari? I was listening to it this morning. It is an excellent piece. I got to put it
amazing, right?
in our Classic 107 systems. Déverson, where did you discover this piece?
So Andre Mimari has become very popular, both either for his collaboration to the classical repertoire in Brazil, also his collaborations with popular music artists there. And this is the thing about him. He's an amazing composer. Also, he can improvise in live concerts, and it's just astonishing. And this particular piece was part of an album to celebrate his own 40th birthday with Antonio Menezes' 60th birthday. So it was a commission by Menezes that unfortunately just passed away last year. So it's a way to honor his memory, because he was like a legend for Brazilian cellists. He was the only one to win gold medal in Tchaikovsky's competition, for example, in 1982. And yeah, so they were recording this album to celebrate their birthdays. And this suite was the main piece of the album and has become like very popular. Andre Mimari himself is making like some arrangements for other instruments, for clarinet, for example, for violin, and has been playing like all around the world right now.
Aside from the variety of music on the program, one of the things that struck me was the amount of women composers on the program. I did a count. There's more women on the program than there are men. Was that sort of the goal? One of the goals of the concert was to get some women representation in there?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm really happy about that, because growing up in Europe and then coming here, I never particularly felt like I belonged that much. And as well as being Serbian and constantly kind of learning, classical pieces and not really hearing much about anything that I was surrounded with, like the Balkan influences. So yeah, I'm really excited that we structured the program this way. It feels like a really nice celebration.
Yeah.
And Jen, does it mean anything to you that there's more women on the program than men? Like, are you seeing this sort of gradual shift?
Well, I actually love how natural it felt, sort of organic it felt to create a program that's this diverse in many ways. So it doesn't feel like making sure someone is represented because they have to be, but just wanting programming to reflect real people and real artists, who's actually making things, who's playing things, whose voice gets to be heard. And as we become more familiar with different composers, we're developing these attachments to composers maybe we hadn't heard of before because they weren't being chosen. So it's really beautiful to see, for me, how organic and natural it's starting to feel to program this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I'm just going to wrap things up by asking what you all are looking forward to most about Sunday. Jen, maybe I'll start with you.
Sunday will be a big day. I have absolutely loved every rehearsal we've had as a group. I could not have asked for a more dynamic, professional, joyful group. Laura keeps advising us. I think her most consistent mentorship request this week has been, bring the joy. Where's the joy? We had so much joy. Like, let's make sure there's room for enjoyment, passion, listening, playing. And that has really fed me this week. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to every rehearsal we have until Sunday and then the Sunday concert as well.
And Déverson, how about you?
Well, I'm very, very excited about this program. Even for the piece I'm not playing, I'll definitely be crying in the green room, listening to Christina singing like some of my favorite leaders. And yeah, I just hope to have a lot of fun with this group. It's been a pleasure to work with all of them. Really, really a great opportunity. So yeah, my goal is to have fun and have joy, like bring joy to the audience if it's possible.
Yeah, Miona, how about you?
Yeah, I would say it's been quite healing for me personally as well, coming from doing my undergrad where COVID was a huge part of it,
Right.
where there was so much stress, and then even afterwards, it was hard to find that joy that you guys were mentioning. So it's been just wonderful rehearsing and just being heard, not just like while playing, but also my opinions and ideas, and just being treated equally. It's been such a wonderful experience. And yeah, I just love chamber music. I love performing.
Yeah. It's nice to be treated like a grown-up professional musician,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. It
Yeah.
only gets better. Miona, Déverson, and Jen, this has been so great to have you here. The Roots and Branches Mentorship Project that's presented by Virtuosi is such a fantastic initiative. The concert on Sunday is going to be amazing. Thanks for taking the time to stop by our Classic 107 studio and talk to me today. It's been wonderful.
Our pleasure.
Thank
Our
you.
Thanks,
pleasure,
Chris.
definitely. Thank you very much, Chris.
For our Classic 107 listeners, the Roots and Branches Mentorship Concert takes place this Sunday, January the 12th at 2:30 at St. Andrews River Heights United Church. For more details, visit virtuosi.ca or go to classic107.com. I have embedded a direct link to the show page in the article about the concert that is up there now. Déverson, Miona, and Jen, thanks again.
Thank
Thank you.
you.